Welcome to the back porch. Let's talk about the news. Let's dive right in. It's our third and final video talking about the presidential debate between Trump and Kamala. And we're going to talk about hits, misses, and missed opportunities today. So that follows wrap it up as well. One of the things that was a miss on both parties is both Trump and Harris have a bad habit of self-filibustering, of filling time with a lot of buzzwords and a lot of headline talk, sprinkled around with their policy discussion. They could have done a lot to just cut through the noise and help people learn to ask the right questions by filling those in the gaps there. When it comes to domestic policy, I felt like Trump really missed the ball in the first question when they were asked, "Are you better off? Do people think they're better off?" And Kamala didn't answer at all. She just went on a big long speech with all sorts of flowery words talking about hope and all this kind of stuff. And Trump, instead of saying, "Well, Kamala didn't answer the question," because the answer was no, and they could have just mic dropped it right there and could have gone on, but he didn't. He missed up on that. Trump also missed the chance to fully explain the deportation plan. Now, he did explain it, and if you're paying attention, you caught it. He was asked, you said you wanted to use the military and the National Guard, and then Trump said yes, and the police. And then they went on from there and got sidetracked. But the issue with the policy that he's saying there is that the police would be the first step. So it's not a door-to-door knocking around, checking everybody's papers, Stasi style. It is rather when people are being involved in police action, the determination of whether they are legal or not will be determined, and then they will be evicted based upon those sort of things, which is perfectly reasonable. It's how, frankly, that's how it was done until just about 5 or 6 years ago. In foreign policy, Trump missed the chance. He danced around discussing the root cause of our foreign policy woes, while accurately pointing out that the Afghan withdrawal was at the feet of Joe Biden and his refusal to abide by the agreements with the formal and informal governments of Afghanistan, and how that debacle emboldened Russia. Trump mentioned but did not drill down on the fact that the only reason Putin had the money to invade Ukraine was because they got it by monopolizing the oil and natural gas for Europe, because they built the Nord Stream pipeline that Trump had been keeping them from doing. So when Biden came in, canceled the Keystone pipeline, took us out of the game, and then built and then greenlit the Nord Stream pipeline, boosting Russia in the game, that gave Russia the funds they needed to invade Ukraine. Likewise, when Biden and Obama before him gave billions of dollars to Iran, Iran had the money to fund Hamas to invade Israel. And October 7 happened, directly a result of the consequences and policies of Biden and his former boss, and the last person out of the room, Kamala Harris. And Trump didn't specify those things, and it really hurt him, I think, in a lot of ways. Or at least it didn't help him as much as it could have. Now, the question of, did this move the needle at all? I gotta say, I don't think so. People that dislike Trump, they've disliked him for years. They've got their reasons for it. I don't think this debate's going to change anyone's minds. They're going to be, those who are on for Harris are going to keep supporting Harris. And the same for Trump's guys. They both really played in their wheelhouses and didn't do a lot to go outside of that. And I think that's a factor. I think the closest you have to Trump making a appeal to the middle, a play to the middle to try to get people's attention, those undecided voters, was at the closing statements, when Harris mentioned all the hopes and dreams, all the broad, nebulous, magic ideas that they put together to try to help the American people out. What they didn't do, what she did is she laid all that out with no specifics, And Trump came in with his answer and said, "Why not now?" When his closing remarks is, "Kamala Harris, you've been in office for 3.5 years. You've got the ear of the president. You're the president of the Senate. Why haven't you already done all the things you were shooting for? There's nothing stopping you. Just do it." And she couldn't. There would have been no answer to that. And I think that's the closest he came to really knocking one out of the park. But those are my thoughts to wrap everything up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment. If you have subjects you want us to hit, leave a comment. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow us, and we will catch you next time around with more news from the back porch.